I want to let everyone know that we will be taking questions at the end. So if any time you have something that pops up into your mind, make sure to visit the bottom middle of your screen. It's a Q&A. At the end of the presentation, we will all come back, all the speakers, and we will take questions and answer them in real time. Anyone that asks a question on Facebook, please know that we will get to them later. We might not get to them right live within the presentation, but we will go back and we will answer your questions afterwards. So without further ado, I am going to hand it over to Sharon Beshore, who is the chair or the president of the Cornell Complex, as well as Connect Culture's board chair. Okay.
Welcome. I'm Sharon Beshore, president of the board of the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Thank you so much for attending our virtual Cornell Complex Renderings Reveal today. Today, we reach out to donors, supporters, friends, and community members to provide an update and share good news about the complex, the future home for both the visual and performing arts in Joplin. The complex will be a home for Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts, as well as other arts and cultural organizations in the future. We know this center will be transformational for downtown Joplin and the continued development of arts and culture in Joplin. We want to recognize and thank the City of Joplin for understanding our vision and donating the parking lot site in front of Memorial Hall where the Cornell Complex will be built. We appreciate so much their buying into our vision. During the last few months, we have worked closely with our architects from DLR Group, New York City, and Corner Greer, Joplin, as well as our construction managers from Crossland Construction to finalize the exterior and interior spaces for the visual and performing arts. Today, we are going to share 2 exterior final renderings, the front and back, as well as 3 preliminary visuals of the theater space. And we're excited to share those with you because a picture is worth 1,000 words, at least in my view. We will explain the spaces inside and out that will create a state-of-the-art indoor and outdoor facility. We want you to picture in your mind a place that is busy throughout the week with opportunities for audiences of all ages to come together around the visual and performing arts. We hope you're excited by the tremendous progress that's been made to create this vibrant destination with something for everyone. Now, Emily, please share the front rendering of the complex now. Now, I want to introduce Susan Adams, Interim Director of Spiva Center for the Arts, who will share information about Spiva's new home in the complex. Susan?
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. And on behalf of the membership of this George A. Spiva Center for the Arts, thank you for joining us this morning at the unveiling of our future home in the Cornell Complex. The Spiva Galleries will be located along the west side of the building, which is the Wall Street side, on the 2nd floor. Many of you are familiar with Spiva's current 3 galleries, but we're delighted to announce that there will be some improvements. So the main gallery will have more square footage, and because of their generous sponsorship, that gallery will be called the Freeman Health System Gallery. The current regional and rental galleries will also have expanded space, and we will be adding a 4th gallery, which will host our permanent collection. This will allow Spiva to display the significant works of art that they have acquired over the years and that we simply haven't had room to display. All of these spaces will be climate and humidity controlled. They will have enhanced security, which will allow us to borrow and bring in exhibits and collections from some of the elite museums and institutions from around the country. The third floor will house 2 spacious classrooms, as well as better storage for SPIVA. We always need more storage, and new office spaces. So with this, I'm going to turn this over to Emily Frankowski, the Director of Connect to Culture, and she'll tell you more about that. Emily?
Thanks, Susan. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily Frankowski, the Director of Connect to Culture. I'm so excited to share these renderings with you guys today. Thank you, Susan. As you all know, Connect is passion for the arts, culture, entertainment in the Joplin area. That through our extensive online resources that aid in accessibility to all of the wonderful arts and cultural activity in the area. Also, our Connect Culture roundtables, as well as our performances that we bring to Joplin currently through our Curtains Up series. With the Cornell Complex, we're going to be very happy to finally have a home base. We'll have a few offices right here, as you can see in the blue square on the screen. We're going to have a few offices as well as open workspace, plenty of storage. As Susan said, we can never have enough. There's going to just be so many possibilities for Connect to Culture as well as others. We're committed to having future office space for arts and cultural organizations throughout the Joplin area in the third floor, and we're happy to announce that Pro Musica has already committed to having an office inside the Cornell complex. We will also have a home theater in the B-Shore Performance Hall. This space will grow our capacity to provide performances for the Joplin area. For those visiting to Joplin, it's going to be a fabulous facility. And though the theater is going to be acoustically wonderful for both artists and patrons, for both the performing artists and the patrons watching, it's going to have so much flexibility, which we're very eager to have. I'm going to show you some really preliminary and exciting images of the inside. These are, again, preliminary, but you get to kind of see what it's going to look like inside. This is from the back of the theater looking to the stage. And you're also looking outside, which is so exciting. This space, this theater, this indoor theater is going to share the same stage house as the outdoor amphitheater. And so people that are inside can watch a performance on the stage as well as see activity behind them outside. Perhaps we even have a performance inside the theater where the blue seats are, and people that are outside can see that activity happening inside. We're just so excited to have these. Just the possibilities are endless. It's going to have 470 seats, both on these two, the closer seats down here by the stage, as well as some that are going to be flexible in the back. There will also be seats up in the balcony here. You can kind of see some blue hiding behind the warm wood color there. Again, the sneak peek. But as I was mentioning, the flexibility, what's really fabulous about this space is that you can have those 470 seats all fixed out there, or you can take all of the seats away and make the floor the same height as the stage. And you can set out rounds and have banquets. I don't know, maybe we could have a dance party, but the possibilities are just going to really make it exciting, not only for Connect to Culture and what we can bring performance-wise, but also other performing arts agencies in the area like Pro Musica, as well as Heartland Opera, maybe even some dance groups. We wanted to show you these just because it is a really versatile space that we do not have in Joplin, and pictures are a lot more, they're a lot better at getting across the idea than people might be at explaining it, but I hope I did it justice. Now I want to turn it over to Clifford Wirt, who is the treasurer of the Cornell Complex, as well as the president and CFO of Connect to Culture, to talk about how people are going to be able to come to this wonderful space and experience it.
Thank you, Emily. And as the box is showing you there on the Wall Street side of the front of the building that you're looking at, you can see that there is a multi-lane position for cars to come in, and a little bit of parking there on the side, but multi-lane for drop off of our patrons and an easy accessibility to the building directly in through the door that will be there on the west side. And you'll be able to enter that under somewhat of a covered area as well. So excellent drop-off parking, multi-lane coming in. And speaking of parking, we want everyone to know, and again, we continue to communicate, that there are 932 existing parking spaces within 1 block of the Cornell complex, and 1,625 parking spaces within 2 blocks of the Cornell complex. And we thank people that are private property owners who are willing to allow our patrons and our visitors to utilize their parking lots during non-business hours. Liberty Utilities, Empire District, the Jasper County Commissioners, the Community Clinic, Pinnacle Bank, and the Joplin Schools. And of course, there are so many spaces on public lots immediately adjoining and nearby, as well as street parking. So access to this is going to be, to the facility, is going to be absolutely excellent. So I want to draw your attention now to up on the upper kind of corner of the southwest side. It says Leggett and Platt Green. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you through the next rendering the Leggett and Platt Green. This amazing facility will have a comfortable capacity for 2,000 or more patrons. And we will be taking advantage of the natural 10-foot slope that already exists from 8th Street north to 7th Street. That already natural slope enables this amphitheater festival plaza to have great viewing by all of the patrons. And they will be able to gather, to relax, to enjoy, and to celebrate, whether that's on blankets, lawn chairs, or maybe even the envisioning of the seats closer to the actual stage where patrons will have a place to come and be entertained. The rectangular stage, the retractable stage door. This is a very, very unique opportunity that we're bringing. This retractable stage door will allow for a theater in the round that Emily has somewhat already referred to where you can see the patrons on the inside of the theater and you can see the patrons on the outside of the theater. So that retractable door will be able to obviously come down in full if we want just only from an outdoor amphitheater performance, or it can come up so that both sides, indoor and outdoor, can see. So this is a unique aspect of the Leggett and Platt Green that we're bringing to Joplin. And so right up above, you will see the envisioning, and this is our dream for the image magnification of what is going on the stage. Raising the expanded capital campaign dollars that we are seeking could possibly make this an actual reality, but so that all patrons outside, whether up close or back towards 8th Street by this image magnification, could see what is exactly going on on the stage of the Leggett and Platt Green. So it's an exciting opportunity. The southeast corner features the second floor donor lounge with its outside terrace that you're able to see some viewing. And immediately above the donor lounge is the spacious Crossland Construction Company rooftop venue. This is going to be a great venue for not only seeing the activities on the stage and out into the lawn, but if we want to have private receptions or a wedding reception following a wedding in the Be Shore Performance Hall, there's just so much opportunity and flexibility. And to expand that flexibility, when you look on the southwest corner, you see the outdoor viewing coming off of the Freeman Health System gallery on the second floor, and the potential for an even further viewing area of the third floor coming off of the SPIVA offices and classrooms and various working spaces for SPIVA on the third floor. So it's a great flexible opportunity, and it's great to be able to introduce to you today the Leggett and Platt Green. So now I turn the remarks over to Sharon for closing on our presentation.
I'm so excited to make the closing remarks for this virtual event. The current timeline calls for construction documents to be finalized by October and bidding to begin in November and December, with construction targeted for the complex to begin in late January 2021 and with completion by September 2022. This is going to happen, and we are so excited. Financial commitments for this community-driven project now total $15.9 million, which is 90.81% of the new $17.5 million goal. We have not been actively fundraising since March, and I think you'll understand why, with COVID-19. But today we make a call to action to begin fundraising again. We want to acknowledge that we are incredibly grateful for the generosity of our supporters for the Cornell Complex. If you are already a donor, we thank you. If you have not donated to this vision, we invite you to do so. All donations are important to this project, all the way from $5 to $5 million. Support from community members, businesses, organizations, and foundations will bring this once in a lifetime, once in a generation opportunity to life. We want to report that additional naming opportunities have been created with these more fully developed plans. Really finalizing the interior plans have helped create these naming opportunities, and there'll be more to come in the future. These will help raise the remaining $1.5 million needed to make this complex really so usable and flexible and a state-of-the-art facility for Joplin. We invite you to share in our call to action by inviting others to join our efforts. We have provided a link to our website, which is on the screen now. We thank you for attending today and hope that you leave with a better understanding of the Cornell Complex. I will turn over our program to Emily now.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm gonna try to pull up everyone so we can get to these cues, questions, and hopefully provide some good answers. I think hopefully we are all on the screen now, but let us take a look at some questions from those that are watching. I've got a good question here. And let's see. From Scott Westwood, thank you for your question. He's asking, does the 400 seat capacity include the balcony? And it does. I forgot to mention that, but it definitely does. 470 seat capacity in both those seats that can be on the floor as well as the balcony. All right, I have another one from Kirsten Landwehr. If you have the stage open to the outdoors and indoors at the same time, how do you control temperature, humidity, and pests? How will SPIVA avoid those factors making their way into the galleries?
Emily, I'd be glad to answer that question. Hi, Kirsten. Thanks for the good question. Entry into the SPIVA galleries are all sealed off by doors and have, the appropriate blockage around the doors to be able to control the humidity and temperature. So we're not worried about that. And I think one thing to remember about the theater door, the retractable door, is that's going to be open during performances only. It's not going to be open on a regular basis. I suppose a squirrel could run up on the stage and run inside during a performance, but I hope that won't happen. But I think this has been taken into consideration. These designs have been used in other complexes similar throughout the country and are working really, really well. Our architects specialize in theater and museum projects. And so this is a great question and one that we asked and they were able to answer to our satisfaction. But thank you.
Could I add to that, Susan?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not sure I'll be coming up on the screen. But this is Sharon. And we imagine the retractable door will be closed most of the time because the stage that Emily said we share with the indoor-outdoor that's when the door is open. But the door is closed for other performances that are just outdoor performances. So Kirsten, we don't expect, as Susan said, that to be open all the time at all.
Great. I think that we've successfully answered that question. We've got some more in here. Actually, we have two questions that ask the exact same thing from Paula Callahan and Emily Larson. They're both asking about an orchestra pit, if that's possible. With the modular nature of the performance hall, will it allow an orchestra pit?
Emily, are you going to answer that?
I guess we all could. So it is a little bit, let me actually go back to those pictures because it will be, oops, there we go. It's hard to see. So let's go over this again. When you walk into the theater right here, you are immediately on the same plane as the stage floor. So right down here, and possibly for explain a little better because I can't remember the exact name, but there are basically these plates that are kind of pieces of the floor which you can lower or you can bring up to certain heights, and that's what the chairs are set on. And so you can, depending on what type we get, it could be as easy as taking a power drill, sticking it into the floor, and raising up pieces of that floor. And so you could have this space right at the same height as this stage. Now, if you got creative, you could make a makeshift orchestra pit right here. Will it be the exact same as an orchestra pit, a traditional orchestra pit? No, it won't. But you can create one within this space just because of that flexible nature of it. Sharon or Clifford, do you want to add on to that?
Well, we imagined a screen that would block the orchestra. If you took out, let's say, 2 or 3 rows of those seats, and then there'll be seating right there behind the screen, and then the rest of the theater will be able to see. So we've really tried to come up with a variety of ways that this performance space can be used by so many organizations and for so many purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that explains their.
I think it does. I hope that we successfully answered your question. Just let us know in the Q&A again if you want to ask anything else about that. But I think that they've got the idea now. Another question I have is, are there tornado safe rooms inside the complex?
And I will answer that. The answer is no. There is not a specific structural that meets all of the specifications. The exact proximity to Memorial Hall, which does have those capabilities, is one option that we have going forward. But to answer the specific question about building it to all of the specifications of a tornado resistant, that we do not have that specifically in the plan at this time.
Okay. Now, if anyone else has any other questions, we will stay on for a little bit longer. Just go through these quickly. If anyone's wondering, this is a puppet horse. We think maybe War Horse is happening on the stage. All right. I think that we've successfully answered the questions that were out there. If there are no other questions, then I think that we will conclude for today. If you have any other questions that come up, just go to the Cornell Complex on Facebook. You should find a recording of this presentation and just ask a question on there and we'll answer it. You can also always contact us on cornellcomplex.org. But we will also have a recording of this presentation on the Connect to Culture YouTube channel within 48 hours if you prefer watching on YouTube. But we thank you for joining us today. We hope you're as excited as we are, and we will hopefully see you very soon with some more good news.